Hello everyone. So how are you guys? How have you been? So I think now enough people have joined us so that we can start. Uh, yeah, I'll turn on the presentation. So just checking, is my voice clear and can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then that's good. Let's see. I think now enough people have already joined. Uh, so just a brief before we start. So have you guys checked the course website? I mean, just before the lecture, the latest. So if you have done that, you will see I have uploaded more material. And as I told, like some of these things, they might not be directly related to structural geology, but and because some of them are from geological mapping, you could consider that part of physical geology. But I have included those, so it is like a bonus additional material, especially because we will not try to study these subjects in isolation. So for example, if we are studying faults or folds, we will also try to study their outcrop expression, how will be the outcrop patterns of different geological features. So for that you need some basics of geological mapping, and at least for some of you it will be very basic. So just go through those lectures very quickly and see for yourself. So if you're comfortable, then maybe you can skip some part of those. But if you think that you need more information, so I will encourage you to go through all of those. uh, so I will just show you what content I've already uploaded. So if you see here, so in this, so the first chapter is basics of maps. So this will be very useful. Sometimes they are asking questions based on projection systems. So these are very important for any competitive examination. So and even like for a geologist, it is very important that you understand all these. So what are maps, what are different projection systems, those sort of things you will find in this part. So and I've also included the slides from this chapter, so you can go through these slides and also go through the video lecture. So this will be very useful. uh, in so this was the, so I'm actually modifying it a little bit. So the syllabus that you would have seen, so that is not the final one. So you will actually study much more than what was already shared in the syllabus. So after this, so second chapter is on contouring. So here in the first chapter you will also learn about topo sheets, how they are numbered, and and about topographic maps. So here it's more in the second chapter, it's more about uh, contour patterns of different geological features such as valleys, hills, all those things that look. After this, so this third chapter, next part that we will study today. So I will encourage you that I now I'm assuming like you know these basics of contouring and all. So we'll study slightly a new topic today. It's not new, so we'll try to study it in actually a different manner so that you understand and you never forget how to solve these types of questions. After, so I encourage you to go through these, and I will also include quizzes within these chapters. So first you are encouraged to go through these and then attempt those quizzes. So the quizzes have not been uploaded yet, so they will be uploaded later on. Now after this, so if you understand what contouring is, I will assume. So let's see. I'm not able to. So I'm not displaying the slides yet, but can you see my screen? So some people are saying like they cannot see the slides. So I'm not presenting the slides as of now. So you can say if the I've shared my screen actually, if it is visible. Okay. Okay, if that, okay, then good. If that's visible, so we'll start with this one. So now can you see the slides?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so now it's better if, when I ask some question, you can actually speak up so that I don't have to look at the chat every time. So it's easier for me also. So in this part, we will actually learn about planes and lines. You would have already gone through. Yes, sorry, you cannot see the slides. But I've shared with everyone. I think all of them. Can you please either you can disconnect and try to connect again, and or else you can do is maybe check your internet connection. But I don't think what you will be able to do with that. Mm. And yeah, another thing, like someone has made a good suggestion. What you can do is you can actually other people, you can actually turn off your camera so that bandwidth is saved, and there is less lag in the videos. So you can actually turn off your webcam. If you have to ask a question or something, then you can turn on your microphone and webcam, then you can ask. So that I think that will be better. Okay. So can you see the slides now? If okay. So if you are not able to see, maybe try to disconnect and connect again, because it could be problem with bandwidth or internet connection. But otherwise, it's there. So actually, I don't want to. Yeah. So no, I actually want to use this whiteboard so that I can annotate these slides. Yeah. So now you can see, so in this part we will learn line of plane. So if you have gone through, so this contour patterns of valleys, hills, spurs or overhangs, etc., you will already, if you go through the previous lectures which I have already uploaded, you will know about them. Now in this part we will specifically learn about the surface expression of in a valley. If you have these dipping beds, planar dipping beds, so we are not considering any faults or folds at the moment, so we only have planar dipping beds. So how will the surface expression look like? So many of you would have already seen this type of figure. For some of you it can be slightly difficult to remember, so we will try to make it easier to remember. But first I would like to show you some real life example of this thing, where you can actually see this. So now I think, can everyone see this? So this is Google. So this is the Google Earth view. So we can actually view it in 3D. So I will also share these location place marks with you so that you can import them and visualize for yourself. So this area is actually, we are very near to Leh. So this is Leh right here. So we are pretty close to that. And let me see exactly. Yeah, this one. So this is the highway that you take from, if you are going from Manali to Leh. So this is the highway you will go through, and here you see these very nice. Let me orient it. So these beds which are dipping towards southwest. So they are you see very nice expression of this. So now there are two things that you have to understand from this view. One is topography, and other is the strata. So these layers that you see here, they form the strata, and this this is the topography that you see here, the variations in elevation. So that is topography. Topography is formed due to action of the due to action of ero- erosion elements such as wind, rain, all these things. So they will produce the surface topography in this region which is once elevated. So you will see development of drainage pattern and all those things, and that will result in the topography and formation of valleys. For example, here what you see in this case, strata is something that was that if it's sedimentary, it was formed by sedimentary layers, and in some case you will see foliation if it is metamorphic domain. And this strata, if it is tilted, so you can assume that there was some tectonics, because principle of original horizontality says originally these were all deposited horizontally, and now if you see them dipping, so there are some exceptions to principle of horizontality, but you can see there has been some tectonics which has tilted these. So here we see these these planar strata. which is these are cut by valley. So there was initially no break in continuity. So you see this strata here and this strata here. So this is continuous. Only thing is in the middle it has been eroded by the river which is flowing here. So this this is the topography, and the strata, so strata are these planar features which we are considering here. And now after some time we will also learn the concept of stratum contour. So we draw contours. So if you already know what are contours. So for topography, contours are lines which join points of some equal value. That value could be anything. It could be, you can draw contours for elevation, so you will call them elevation contours, which you see in topographic maps. So for example, if this elevation is here and you can read these elevation values here in Google Earth. So that is very nice about this. So these elevation values you can read here. So for example, if I click here, it's almost 4,000 meters. And if I go down near the valley slope, it's 3,600 meters. So what you can do is, if you want to draw a contour, so we have all those are already shown in recorded lectures, but if you still need to draw in Google Earth, actually you can go here, add path, and you can actually click here how the contour will look. So for example, if I want to draw 4,000 meters contour, I put a point and then keep looking at this elevation value here, so that you have points of equal elevation. Yeah, somewhere here. So you can see it will turn around like that. So these are almost 400. So these get folded because there is another small sort of say stream, but slump that is there in the middle. So that is affecting these contours. So now, so this is how you will draw contour. So you can finish it and it will actually turn around here and it will go here like this. And if you draw it here, so it will cut the river here and come back here. So you see what will happen. So this stream is joining this bigger stream. I think this is Indus and this is Zanskar. So it is going from west to east here, this stream. So this is sort of a contour line. You can continue it and it will give you the whole contour pattern. So here we were looking at elevation. Another thing, now this is these type of contours, they are known as topographic contours. So if you go to this map here, so these V's that you see here, these are the topographic contours which I just drew. Not the shaded part, but these dashed lines, these are the contours. So this is what I'm drawing. So if you continue this thing, so it will come here and go something like this. So it will form a V. So let me very quickly tell you, because here the slope is not that huge as you would see, so for example in the example which I had included, but overall it will look, in this part it will look something like this. So this will be your topographic contour. So elevation will be same everywhere in this case. So I've drawn it. I didn't look at the elevation values because that will take a lot of time, but you can see how you can continue it. Yeah. So this is a topographic contour. You can draw more for more values. For example, if this was 3589, so you can draw, you see here it is also 3557, so more or less same. So you can draw another one here, for example, but okay, let me, okay, so then you can draw some other contour also for other value, and it will probably go here, something like this. In this case, it will not come here, and so something like this. So these are all topographic contours. Now another thing that you should understand, so is the concept of stratum contours. We will come to that. Actually, it's better we'll study it right now only. So here, if you see, you pick any stratum which is continuing here. So for stratum contour, you need 2 points which have same elevation. So stratum contour is nothing, it's just a strike line. So for a planar bed, for example, here these are planar, so it is just a strike line. But we don't say like all, so strike line is a stratum contour, but not all stratum contours are strike lines, because some features, for example, if you have folds, So in case of folds, yeah, for one limb you can define a strike line, but if it is undulating surface, it is very difficult to define strike line. So that is why we use the concept of stratum contours. So what do we call them as? Stratum contours. So you should understand the difference between these. And another are topographic contours. So topographic contours, we have already seen the one that we drew here. This is a topographic contour. So it joins points of same elevation. Whereas stratum contour, you cannot move from one layer to another. So here you see we are going from this layer to this layer. That is allowed because we are moving along topography. In stratum contours, for example, if you see this, maybe somewhere it is exposed. So this bed is right here. So you cannot go here or there. So you have to stay on one plane. You cannot even stay within one bed because a bed is a three-dimensional feature. So, but the contact between two beds, that is a planar feature. So if you are along that, for example, if you see this bed, maybe it is continuing on this side. So you have to stay on same bed. So here, if you have to draw stratum contour, so it will also be a point of same elevation, but you have to be on same strata. So let's see. Yeah, so now you can see this, we can take this bed which is continuing like this. So you can call it strike line also or stratum contour also. So what you can do in this case to draw a stratum contour, and another thing that before we proceed is that you see these V's are forming. So these one V is formed by topographic contours for the valley, and the outcrop pattern or the trace of these surface trace of these beds, they are also forming these V kind of features. And what you see in this case is this V is pointing in the same direction as the topographic contour. So this V is pointing in the same direction as topographic contour. So if you go to this image, so it's one of these cases. So in the same direction, actually contours are much gentler. So this is actually the beds are dipping upstream this case, and you can see also. So this river is coming from this direction, beds are dipping upstream, so they are pointing upstream also in this case. So this is, I think, Indus River, and it's joining it in here. So you see the V's are pointing in the same direction. Now another thing that you need is some strike line. So someone can, so I will just tell you how you can actually you don't need to cram this whole thing. You can actually solve it very quickly. You just need to draw two lines. So what you see here in this image, let's pick up any bed which is continuing. Let's see, let's say this is continuing like this. So this bed here. So what I'll do is I'll try to take 2 points of same elevation. So again, I look at my elevation here. So it's, yeah, let's pick one at 3600. It's the same here, and let's say this is the same thing which is continuing here. So this is also we drew as, so this is just a rough line. So this contour that I drew, I didn't look at the elevation, so it's a little bit wrong. It should come actually in this part. Yeah, so this actually it took it along the ground, but if you look it from above, you see, so this is a strike line now that you have drawn. So this, because you see it is on the same bed, so it's actually on the plane that is contact, that is a contact between these two beds. So a plane will be a contact, even the whole bed is a three-dimensional feature, it is not a plane. So now I have got a strike line or a stratum contour. So this is known as a stratum contour. I will actually delete because this is more distracting. Yeah, so this is a stratum contour that you have got because it has same elevation. We took 3600 in both places and it is on the same plane, and this is also a strike line. Another thing now you can do is you can take another strike line. So if you have two strike lines, you can actually determine which side it is dipping. Now to draw again, I'll draw second strike line. Let's draw it at somewhere around 3700. So again, read the elevation value here, and it has to be here. You see, they are almost parallel. So not completely exactly parallel, but you get an idea. So these, yeah. So these are the two strike lines that we have got. So this one is for 3600 meters, and this is for 3700 meters. So which side should be the dip? So should it be, so now someone can answer, you can turn off your microphone. So which in which direction is the dip? So it is oriented, let me orient it north to south. So what is the dip direction that you can get? So this is a 3700 meter contour, and this is a 3600 meter contour.
Southwest.
Yeah, so correct. So this is the dip is towards the southwest direction, and you can actually get it from, let me take a snip of this thing so that we can draw it. We can consider it. Which part was it? Yeah, let's just paste it here. Yeah. So now you see, so here we could not annotate those, so I'll try to draw. So this is, this we drew at 3700, and this we drew at 3600. So dip has to be in this direction, and that visually also you saw it. So if you have to solve any questions of this type, all you need to do is just try to draw these stratum contours. It will be very easy then to find in which direction this bed is dipping. Only thing is, how will you, here you know elevation values you could read, so your only task is to just assume these values of contours. So usually you'll be given. So just let me ask you a question, then you know, because we have not covered it, it's in the recorded lectures. What should be the uh, what should be the V pattern in a valley? So let me draw some topographic contours. So let's say, okay, so let's say this is a valley. Okay, so in a valley, always remember that if stream is flowing in this direction, so the V will always point in opposite direction. So this will always have higher value, and this point will always have lower value. So this is high elevation contour. For example, if you try to label these contours, maybe this will be uh, 4000, 3900, or something like 3800. So first thing that you should always remember, so this, if you go through previous recorded lectures, you will find that all this is covered. So V always points opposite to the this flow of stream. So this has to be high area, this has to be low area. You can label them something like this. So these are your topographic contours. So what is happening? So here you remember we drew a contour which went, which will actually go something like this. So this is 3600. So at these points it will intersect. These points you see will intersect, and this is your stream flow direction, which is opposite of this in direction in which V is pointing. Similarly, if you draw 3700 meter contour, it will look, topographic contour, it will look something like this. So again, it will have to pass, these two points are both 3700, so it will pass something like this. So I'm drawing them roughly. So this is what is happening in this case, and on top of that, what you have this topographic expression. So this, for example, with which we will consider one bed, which is the outcrop pattern. So this is the outcrop. So these are the things that you will see in these kind of figures. When you see these figures, You see, so these are the V's, topographic contours. So these dotted lines, so these dotted lines that you see here, these are these contours. Whereas this shaded portion that you see is this one, is shaded. So this is the outcrop pattern. So the green V that you see here, this is this one, and the dotted V's, they are topographic contours, which are these thin black lines in this case. Now you see, you need these points of intersection. So we here we see this is 3700, this is 3600. So dip has to be in that direction. Okay, so this is the same principle that we will follow everywhere. I will so this is one example in which beds are dipping opposite to the valley slope. So this is actually the first case that you'll see. I'll tell you also how you can easily solve, but before that, let's see few example in which probably opposite is happening. So if it is dipping in the same direction, do we have any examples of that? Let me see. There is no, not this one. So this is also very similar. So we'll try to, in this case, the dipping beds, they appear like folds because of this topographic expression. So all these things that you see from top, they are, so okay, what I'll do is I will share those files with you so that you can look for them yourselves. But if you go to these areas, you will see that in some cases the pattern is slightly different from what you saw uh, right here, in which the beds were dipping opposite to the valley floor. So what I'll do is I'll record that video, short video, to show you the other show you other kind of patterns also, and then you could look all these. And if you are curious, so what are these? Does anyone know what these these red layers that you see here, what these are? Any guesses? Yeah, here you have nice example. Yeah, you see these V's here. Look at this image. You can view from side. So what is happening in this case? So this is, we will consider this valley. So the if you look at the slope of the valley, so here I'm using, actually these examples are good because they are vertically very steep, so you can actually visualize. Even this stream, big stream that you see, it has slope, but it will take very large area because slope is less. So it is always better to look at these side valleys because they are like that. So yeah, does anyone want to say anything, comment on those red layers that you saw? No? Okay, so let's see. So in this case, what you see is, so this is dipping. Mhm. Okay, the ancient. So okay, yeah. So they were, which were exposed. So we are not very sure whether they are that ancient or not. I think these are continental. Yeah, but you are correct. These are continental. Actually, oceanic crust. If these are red, yeah, they could be. But at some point of time, they would have been exposed for oxidation, so that they could have been oxidized. So yeah, so that oxidation can happen only when. So if it were all oceanic, you will see usually they are black in color. Especially if you have any sedimentary layers, they will usually be black in color because of presence of organic matter. They are rarely red. So this is, I think we are very close to the Indus Sankpo suture zone. So this is the plate boundary here, and this is where the Tethys Ocean closed. And these red color is actually related to closing of Tethys Ocean also, because that resulted in exposure of the units that were there in this area. But yeah, again, think we again lost those. But yeah, the previous example which you saw, you now you can see that they were dipping in the same direction as the valley floor. the last example that we saw. Yeah, these ones. You see, these are almost vertical. So another thing that, yeah, so these V's, if you see here, so this is a valley, this is a ridge. So in a valley ridge, it will be opposite. But you can see they are slightly in this direction. They're pointing to direction of the slope. So you see this layer here. So if you draw a contour, how will it look? So it will look something like this. Let me draw it. So the contour here, this valley contour will look something like this. Okay. So now in this case, you see these V's are pointing opposite of this contour V. Now why is this the case? In the previous case, we saw the beds were dipping opposite of valley slope, but in this case, they are dipping in the same direction as valley slope. So which case is it? In this one, beds dip steeply downstream. So this is this case. So they are pointing in opposite direction, and this is the image that you have here. So they will point in opposite direction of the V. So again, if you go here, so this V is pointing towards east, whereas the contour V is pointing towards west. So they're in opposite direction. And there can be some examples of vertical beds also, where you will not see, yeah, some examples. Yeah, for example, here you see these layers, they appear almost straight lines, no V's. Does it mean that there are no valleys in this area? You see these layers, this red layer, they're almost straight. Does it mean that there are no valleys in this area? So if you don't believe me, you can see there is a lot of topography even in this area, but you see the bed almost vertical. So these beds are vertical. So in case if you have vertical beds, they will not show any topographic features. So I would say topographic features are still there, but expression will not be present in the outcrop patterns. So outcrop pattern will appear like straight lines. So there will be no V's. So you see again here, if you view them from top, they appear almost straight, and you can confirm that there are actually valleys here and that the beds are vertical. So you are not getting any V's. So this, which case is this? You see this one, F. So no V shape. So if the bed is vertical, so vertical beds will not show any V. So now we'll see, this is like, if you have to remember, you will forget these details and things. But let's say now if you are in exam and you have to solve any problem like this, let's say consider this kind of problem. So if we zoom into it, so you know this is a valley. If someone gives you a ridge, it will be opposite. So in a ridge, the V will point in the direction of decrease of elevation, or downstream. V will point downstream in case of ridge. In case of valley, V will point upstream. So you know here the upstream area, the V is pointing. So these dotted contours we have already seen. So this is your up. So this is upstream area. This is downstream area, and yeah. So your stream is flowing in that direction. So it it is flowing in this direction, and your V is pointing opposite. So you don't need to remember like where it should be pointing, where it should, you know that this is higher. So this should be lower, and this should be higher. The stream should actually flow in this direction, sorry. So it should not flow here. So the stream is flowing in this direction. So this is lower, this is higher area. Now you take any contour. Let's consider this contour right here. So because it is contour, it has same elevation. So what will stratum contour look like? So for stratum contour on this strata, so on this plane, I will consider this plane that you see here, this top surface, this contact, you need 2 points of equal elevation. Where are 2 points of equal elevation? First one is here, and the second one is right here. So what you do is, if you draw this line, you will get a strike line or a stratum contour. Okay. Now on this same surface, so now you cannot go to this surface and draw another stratum contour to compare. No, because you have to be on same surface. You draw anywhere, you can draw the second contour, and let me draw it in different color. So here, you, let's say for example, you draw this one. Okay. Now you have these contours. So you saw in case of valley, so this V is pointing above. So this is in higher area. So the green, so which of these will have higher elevation value, green or red?
Green.
So green will have higher elevation. So which side should the beds dip?
The downward side, downwards.
Yeah, so they are dipping downward side. So they should be dipping. So this is your dip direction of the beds, that is in the same direction, that is downstream. So stream is flowing in the same direction, beds are dipping in the same direction. So that is why you see this is the case, we've already proved it. So for any case you can do it. It will be difficult to do it for this case, but you can see how this is first contour, this is second. So all the contours are stacked at one place, it means it is vertical bed. So there is no horizontal movement. All in this case, let's say it is exactly the same. So stream, so if they are like this, so these are not forming any V pattern, the both the sides it is parallel in this side and this side. So you see this is your, this will be your one contour and this will be second contour. And what will you, how will you determine valley slope? Valley slope will be, if you have seen, so first you need, we'll later on see how you can actually determine slope also. So for determining slope, you need horizontal distance. It is just like if you have stairs in your home and these stairs go something like this. So you go vertical and you go horizontal, and this is your slope. So same thing will happen here. So this is your horizontal distance. And let's say this contour that you see here, this is 100-meter contour, and let's say this one that you see on top is 110-meter contour. So in this case, this h is the horizontal distance and your vertical distance will be the difference between these two values, 110 and 100. So this is 10 meters. So this is how you calculate slope. So if you do this for these, you see the slope for the valley as well as for these stratum contours. If you determine slope from stratum contours, it will come out to be the same. But you can remember, like if they are parallel, you see this distance here, but in valley floor horizontal distance and this distance here, they are both same, so it has to be same slope. Similarly, you can see now in this case beds are dipping, but they are dipping gently downstream. So dip is very gentle. It means you will cover a lot of horizontal distance. So you see first stratum contour, if you look, it will, so for this pattern it will actually look somewhat like this. And the second one, it's actually very difficult to determine because it is not actually this surface that we are using. So we are somewhere here. So let me draw this first because it is very confusing. So your outcrop is something like this. So actually we are not even intersecting another. So, but let me extend it a little so that you can see. So it is not even intersecting another contour. But let's say first consider this contour. So let's just assume that this contour is 100-meter. Okay. Now in a valley, V always points upstream. Okay. So this has to be, let's say, just for example, 110. You can take it to 100, whatever you want. So the second is, so where will you see? So 100. So now let's say it intersects. So here it is not intersecting, but let's say it intersects here. So this 110. So this will be 110. This is 100. So where should these be dipping? Beds should be dipping in this direction. So these are also dipping downstream because stream will flow opposite to the direction in which your V's are pointing. So this is, now how do you know these are gently dipping? So you see these beds dip with stream gradient, they are parallel. So you see all these are dipping downstream, especially these two cases. But difference is these are, here the slope is less than the valley slope. How will you know that it is less than the valley slope? because you see horizontal vertical distance is 10 meters between this contour, you see 100 meter, and so this is 100 and this is 110, so vertical distance is 10 kilometers, oh sorry, 10 meters, and slope will depend on horizontal distance. So if horizontal distance is more or horizontal distance is less, so if horizontal distance is more you have gentle, and if it is otherwise you will have steep. So in this case you see horizontal distance is large, and that is why your dip is less. And horizontal distance, if you calculate between these two beds, so for stream it is less. See, for stream horizontal distance, let me call h stream and let me call this h bed. So beds it is more, so beds have to be more gently dipping. Now for horizontal beds, it is very easy to remember. I don't think you need, because if beds are horizontal, that is the definition of when you define contour itself. So topographic contour is when you cut topography with a horizontal plane, you will get a topographic contour. They have equal elevation everywhere. So if your bed itself is horizontal, it should be parallel to a topographic contour. So in case of horizontal beds, these will be parallel. Say if these will have same thing. And finally, this we had already seen previously how you can actually determine it. So what you see here, so again V is pointing upstream, so this has to be 100, this has to be 110, stream is flowing in this direction, and so this again is 100, 110, so the dip should be, oh sorry, I think I did something wrong. V will point upstream, the stream is flowing in this direction. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was telling you guys not to make that mistake, and I myself made that mistake. Can you, can anyone tell me what we have to use? Yeah, so we have to use same contact. Okay, so the one that I drew here, this is incorrect. Yeah, I was telling you guys not to make this mistake, and I myself am making this mistake. So you have to use the same. Let me draw it in different color. So you use this one here, and then you use this one right here. Now you will see that this we saw was 100, and if this is 100, then this should be the second one. So if we are assuming this to be 100, then this should be 90, because upstream when you are going, your these V's are always pointing towards areas of higher elevation, so you are coming opposite of V, so you are going from 100 to 90, so your dip has to be in this direction. So now anytime you get this question, even if you don't remember these things, what is happening in what case, so what you do is you draw any contours. Let's say this contour V has to point in opposite direction, just label one of them as 100 and another one as 90, and then you draw any bed like this. So whatever pattern is in the examination is given to you, maybe something like this, or you get something which is in the same direction like this. So what you can do is very easily, very quickly, you can just draw these two figures to remember, and then you can again label them 190 just like here, and then you draw these contours. For example, here you are going, so this is now same bed like this. So this is, these are actually very rough. These straight lines should be parallel. Now this is dipping from 100 in this direction, and this is dipping from again. So this is 100 and this is 90, and this should be dipping in these beds. So this bed should be dipping in this direction. So this is how very easily you can solve these type of questions. And now you understand, you also understand how you can actually, how you can what is the difference between these strata and topographic contours. So topographic contours, these are actually values of equal elevation. And then if you want, if you have, especially if you are not preparing, you're still in undergrad graduation and you just want to learn more things, then you can actually go here and see there are a lot of examples in this area which you will find. And you can go here and you can actually draw that plane also. You see, what you can do here is that you can add a polygon also, and it will give you a plane. For example, you just join these points. Mm, so now it has not shown in 3D, but Not this one, actually not polygon. Let's, I think it has to be done with measurements. So you can actually put a polygon here. Show ruler. Okay. Yeah, polygon in this way. You go, let's fill it in. No, it is also showing. So okay, I'll maybe later on share something with you guys, which will be better. But you see this, a plane should form here, like this. Okay, 3D path, 3D, sorry, 3D polygon. Let's try it. Yeah, this is now will this will give you the plane. Yeah. So this very easily you can see that this is how the beds would have continued. So now this is how you visualize it, what you have given. So those strike lines, so these red lines that you will see from top, these are the two strike lines. And in 3D, this plane looks something like this. It is dipping in that direction, and you can actually continue it whole thing away. So and on this one line, so this is a stratum contour. Now you see this red line that you see on top, this is a stratum contour or a strike line in this case. So they're both the same. And now you see you're dipping, so you're going from one to another. And if you draw these elevation contours, as we have already seen, so elevation contours will come something like this. So you can actually practice it yourself also if you share these. So if you start drawing elevation contour from here, so it will go. So this is actually, this has added a path. Cancel. Yeah, and it's just filling it up. Color. So it will appear, these contours will appear something like this. So this is a contour. So so now you get an overall idea. But just remember what is happening. So this plane, so this bed was continuous at one point of time. It's only the only thing that has happened is a stream has come which has eroded these beds here, and that is why you are getting this outcrop pattern. So it is very, many times students find it very difficult, or they find it very confusing when they see these different kinds of lines. What do they actually mean? For example, this you have to remember is outcrop pattern. These shaded areas, they are themselves not contours, stratum contours. So this line that you see here, this line for this one, for this bed, for example, let me draw it in yellow. This line that you see here, this is not a contour. Sometimes students get confused in this part also. So they will think, let me erase this. So they will think that this line is a contour. But contour, this is not a contour. This is just, so you'll call this as, let's just call bedding trace. Okay, so this is just the surface expression of that thing. If you join points of equal elevation along this trace, and you can do this for fault also. For example, if you have a fault plane, you want to calculate dip of a fault, so you can draw the contours for a fault plane also. The same thing, because the principles are the same. So here, this is how you draw it. So this has to be high, low, and then here dipping. So these green lines are stratum contours, or bedding contours, anything you can call them. And these dotted lines are topographic contours. So these three things you have to remember: what are topographic contours, what are bedding contours, and what or stratum contours, and what is bedding trace. So if beds are planar, your strike line will be the same as stratum contours. Now, once any, do you have any questions in this part?
No, sir.
Okay. Someone is saying these were banded iron formations, that the red beds that you are seeing, they are not actually banded iron formations. They are younger than banded iron formations. They are continental red beds, that usually called. And they are present within that close to that suture zone that you see there. And many of them, they have this red color because,
ITCZ.
yeah, ITCZ. So they are along this ITCZ where the closing of Tethys Sea has happened. So actually, many of these beds, if you date them, you can also find out, if you know the age, that at what time this collision happened and when did this ocean closed, Tethys Ocean. So these are related to that. So here, if you go northward, so you've seen in different types. So we have seen the beds which were dipping in same direction as valley. We have seen beds which were dipping in opposite direction as valley, and we have also seen examples of vertical beds here. If you want to see examples of horizontal beds, if you have already seen recorded lectures, then you will know. But okay, let me ask this: where do you think in India it will be easiest to see horizontal beds? Any guesses?
Deccan traps.
Deccan traps, correct. So in Deccan traps, because these were low viscosity flood basalts, so they did not they were flowing. So due to gravity, they formed horizontal layers. And if you want to study any topographic expressions, you see here these examples. If you want to draw contour, now these are Deccan traps, and you see these layers, they are almost horizontal in this case, so they are not dipping in any direction. And if you want to draw, so now these will be parallel to topographic contours. So these should be parallel to topographic contours. So these layers that you see, this layer, so this is the example in which you had those parallel. So if you take any valley close to this area, so let's say if this is the valley, so you're here, if you have to draw topographic contour, these will exactly follow these layers which you are seeing here. Okay, so someone was commenting on first picture should be 110, 100 rather than 90, 100. It doesn't matter. See, 110, 190, 100 you take, these are, you are just assuming. No one has given you exact values. They are just for remembering. So you can take 1000, 1050, 10 lakh, whatever you want. Only thing you need is which one is higher, which one is lower. You can also use just H and L. So for rule of these, you are asking. Okay. So this picture you are asking. Yeah. So you're saying, so this has to be 190 only, because you see this one here, that you see 100. So this is this uh, for the same one. Yeah. So just a second. Let me do it again. So let's say which we are considering this part, and let's consider this part right here. Okay. So these two lines we draw. So these point upstream. Okay. Yeah, I think you are correct. And this is how these are dipping upstream. Correct. Yeah, my bad. So this has to be, so this has to be lower, this has to be higher. So these are the two ones which we are considering. So V points in higher direction. Okay. So yeah, you're correct. So this is higher, this is lower. So again, this is lower because you see this is continuing here. So well spotted. So this has to be higher, and it has to dip. Sorry, so now, yes, now you get the correct thing. So your stream is flowing in this direction and beds are dipping upstream. So these beds are dipping upstream like that. So thank you very much for pointing it out. So I had made a mistake. I had drawn it like so. These beds, you now you see, they are dipping. Stream is flowing in this direction and the beds are dipping upstream. And okay, okay. Thank you, Vishal, for pointing it out. Uh, Now there are some more slides that we have to cover. So this thing you should never forget. This is very important. So similarly, there is a problem here. Now, another thing is after you can find stratum contours, you can be asked to find the dip of a given bed. So how will you find the dip of a given bed? Let's say, for example, you consider this contact. So this contact you are considering. So for dip, you always need two stratum contours. So the value difference between them will give you height. So each stratum contour will have its own value, and horizontal distance you can measure from the scale which is given in a map. For example, let's consider this bed we were considering. So this is a 400-meter stratum contour. They've all actually already drawn the stratum contours. So this is for 400 meters and this is for, you see, this 300, correct? So how will you calculate? So dip should be in this direction first of all. Okay, so V is pointing in this direction. So these are dipping in the same direction as stream is flowing. Assuming this is a valley. First, is this a valley? First of all, let me ask. Is this a valley where I've drawn these lines?
Yes, sir.
Why do you say that this is a valley?
These
Let me erase everything and then try to answer again. Is this a valley?
these are beds.
So
So
this.
it is yes.
So again, let me tell you. So first of all, these are topo contours. This right here is trace of bedding. Okay, and these actually the ones that you see here, these are the dotted lines. So these are already drawn. These are stratum contours. And you see they are straight lines here, not like topographic contours, because beds are all planar. If your stratum contour are not straight lines, then that means this area is folded. If your stratum contours appear something like this, it means folding has happened. So for planar beds, these stratum contours, they always have to be straight line. You see these are your stratum contours. So I was asking whether this is a valley or not. Here, is it a valley? So answer is no, it is not a valley, because you see this is 500 and this is 400. So V is pointing in downstream direction. So for valleys it has to be opposite. So valley is right here. So this is a ridge, and again this is a ridge, this is a valley, and then you will see another ridge down here. So this is a valley. Here you see the V is pointing upstream. So for example, this is 200, this is 300, and this is 400. So V should always point upstream in case of a valley. But you can always tell whether it is dipping in same direction. So the same rule of V that you saw, if someone wants to complicate this question, what they will do, instead of V, they can give you just stratum contours, they can give you topographic contours and ask what is happening. So if you can read these values, you don't actually need to figure out whether it is a valley or a ridge. But just for your information, this is actually a ridge and this is a valley right here. This is a valley and ridge. Let's do it for valley only first, so because you are already familiar with that. Or here let's do for ridge, so that will give you more practice. So for 400-meter, you see this is 400-meter. Okay, and then you need to draw for any other contour. You can draw, it can be 300, 200, 500, whichever you can find. This one. So this is 400, this is 300. So what is the dip direction in this case? East, west, north, south. What is the dip direction?
East.
Yeah, so it is dipping eastwards. You see, now you don't need to remember rule of V's. You can just directly use this method. And you see, if you find another point, for example, this is 300 and this is 400 right here. So this contour, and you see here it is again intersecting the same trace over here. So in this case you actually get 3 points. So this proves that it is not folded. So this is not folded in this case. You see this blue line You can continue it up to here. Similarly, this for 300, it is intersecting again here, so you can continue. So you get the whole stratum contour. Now the question is, how can you calculate the dip amount? So how will you calculate the dip amount? So for that you need to know the vertical distance, and then you can apply simple trigonometry. You need to know the vertical distance and you need to know the horizontal distance. So what is the vertical distance in this case? 100 meter, yeah, because you have two contours, 400 and 300 meters, two contours you have already got. So this is 100 meters, because this was 300-meter contour and on top you have 400-meter contour, so difference between we should be 100. What is the horizontal distance? How will you find horizontal distance?
With the given scale.
Yes, correct. So with the given scale, yes. So yeah, here you see approximately it will be 500. So normally what you will do is you will put your scale here and see what is the distance, and then you use the scale for the that distance. Let's say this is approximately, in this case you see these are 2 units and 500 meters is all 2 units. So actually it is given in feet. In this case these are all values in feet. So so if you go back here, so this should actually be, all these values should be in feet, and you saw this is 500 feet. Okay, so let me make it more clear. So everything is in feet. So what should be the slope? This was 100 meter, and if you assume this as not 100 meter, feet in this case, so if you assume this is theta, how will you calculate slope? So slope, if you know, or the dip of a bed, you measure it with respect to horizontal. Okay. So this is your dip. So alternate angles, parallel lines. So this is also, theta is also dip in this case. So you use the formula tan theta equals 100 over 500. So theta will be equal to tan inverse 1 over 5. So someone can ask you question in this case. They can ask you what is the value of theta, or you can be given a simpler question. For example, if this is also 100, then you will not even use a calculator. You will not need to use a calculator. In that case it will come out to be 45 degrees. So, and you can apply this principle to determine dip of anything. You can determine dip of fault. You can also determine dip of valley floor. So if you want to determine what is the valley slope, so what you need is, you need to know, for example, what is the elevation value here. So it will be around 150. You see it is less than 200, so you don't know exact value here, and then you need value here, so it will be closer to 200. So this, for example, will come out to be somewhere, let's say 190. See, 200-meter contour is very close by, and the red one here, it will come out to be how much? So it will be around, let's say 150. So you know vertical distance is 40 meters. Horizontal distance again you get from scale, not meters, feet. So in this case let's say it's 2000. So now in this case it will be tan inverse 4 by 200. Okay, so this is how you will calculate. So you see this will be much less compared to the slope that we found out. So in which direction the slope is in? This direction, opposite of V is pointing, and it is much less compared to the slope or dip of the beds, because horizontal distance is much larger for same vertical. Actually here vertical is even shorter, but if you increase it, this will also increase, so it has less slope. So whenever you see more horizontal distance for same vertical distance, always means that the dip in the bed is less. Everyone understands up to this point? So all these are stratum contours, and you can use those stratum contours to determine the dip. Okay, so I'm glad that many of you actually gave correct answers. So rest of the part will be very similar to this. I actually have to pack today, because tomorrow we are moving We are getting out of quarantine and we have to move to Calgary. So I will skip the rest of the part for now, but this is very easy. You can I will upload these slides on course website also, and I will also upload this recorded lecture so that you can view it. uh, so and or I will upload recorded lectures for these so that you can view in your own time. But main thing that I wanted to discuss, I've already discussed. In these cases also, you just have to apply trigonometric principles. For example, this is the apparent thickness of the bed. Here you see, this is the apparent thickness. This is the apparent thickness of the bed that you see in outcrop. So for vertical beds, apparent thickness is same as stratigraphic or true thickness. This is the stratigraphic thickness or true thickness. As your beds keep getting gentler and gentler, your apparent thickness keeps on increasing, and for horizontal beds it will be almost infinite. You see, it is increasing as they are getting gentler. So what you can get is, you can actually get a question based on this, that what should be a bed is dipping like this, it has thickness of this. So you need to calculate what is its true thickness. So this I will leave as a homework exercise for you guys. You try to solve it yourself, and then tomorrow I will upload a recorded lecture for this part also. So after taking, if you have any questions, after taking those questions, we will stop. And can we ask questions on email? No, I will say, instead of email, you ask there on, if you go to course website, there you have discussion forum, so you can put a discussion out there, so that everyone, so it will benefit everyone if you're asking a question. And then I can also respond, or if someone else responds, then I might not even have to respond. So if you have to ask any questions, just put them on the discussion forum on the course website. Do not email me. Okay. So for topo sheets, Girik, I would first say, I have already covered this. I've already covered this in the recorded lecture. So once you see those, you will automatically understand this part.
Sir, I'm not able to go through the recorded lectures. It is showing that buy now or not now, but I have registered already. What should I do?
So if you have registered for free preview, just send me an email. I'll see, because I provided access to the complete course to most of you, and some of the lectures I actually see. Initially, if you would have checked yesterday, so I had not uploaded all the lectures. I had uploaded only a few. Maybe if you have access, if you go today, you will be able to see the remaining lectures. So I actually have not finished the whole course on the course website, that you can see in one go. You will see. So as we go through the course, I will keep on uploading those things. So just check today if you can see more video lectures, especially those related to these valley contours and these topographic contours I have uploaded. If you can see those lectures, and also there are some, I've covered rules of contouring. So there are different rules of contouring. If you can see those lectures, then you're good to go. If not, you can send me an email and I'll check whether your registration is, whether you are enrolled in the complete course or only on the in the preview part. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And I will also upload some questions also, quiz exercises, so that you can practice these type of questions. Okay. And tomorrow I will not be able to take class because I will be traveling. So maybe day after tomorrow or after that, but in the meantime, you can go through the uploaded lectures. Okay.
Hi sir.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi sir, it's Garrick speaking. Sir, I have a doubt. I have gone through your video but still has the doubt.
Okay.
Can I ask it right now?
I will say, preferably you put it on the discussion forum in the course, and I will respond it over there only, so that everyone can see it. So because then I'll have to repeat it for everyone here. Okay.
Okay.
So it is always better, if you have questions, put them on the discussion forum, and you can tag me over there also. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Okay, if that is all, I will take leave, and I wish you all the best. And if you have any questions, if you're facing any problems, just shoot me an email. But if it is related to some technical doubt, subject related doubt, I'll encourage you to put it on the discussion forum. All right. Okay. Then bye. It was nice to have class with you, and hope to see you in the next class. Bye.